I don't know when the fear started, but I think it's always been there, quiet, invisible, growing in the corners of my heart like a shadow that never left. I'm 19, and I'm scared of love. I know how ridiculous that sounds. I'm young. I'm supposed to be obsessed with romance, first kisses, late-night texts, flowers, butterflies. But every time I come close to someone, every time I feel those first sparks, something inside me starts panicking. My mind spirals. My chest tightens. I feel like I'm drowning in questions that never stop coming. What if I get hurt? What if they lie? What if I have to give up myself just to keep them happy? And the worst one, what if I fall in love and then I lose myself completely? I thought maybe I was aromantic. But that wasn't it. I want love. I want it so badly it hurts. I've imagined slow dances in the kitchen, forehead kisses on rainy mornings, reading together in bed. I crave those moments. But real relationships? Actual human connection? They terrify me. But I didn't understand why until I met Ethan. Ethan was everything I didn't know I was afraid of. Tall, smart, confident. The type of guy who walked into a room and everyone turned. He wasn't loud, but he had a presence. I first saw him at my part-time bookstore job. He was picking out poetry books, yeah, actual poetry. I joked that no guy our age read that stuff unless they were trying to impress someone. He smiled and said, "Maybe I'm trying to impress you." That's how it started. Harmless flirting, slow glances, casual texts. But something about him felt different. Safe. He didn't pressure me or rush me. He gave me space. And for the first time, I thought, maybe this won't be so bad. I was wrong. Falling for Ethan felt like jumping off a cliff blindfolded. One moment I was floating, the next I was free falling, and I couldn't tell if there was water or concrete below. At first, things were perfect. The late-night phone calls, the way he remembered everything I said, how he'd surprise me with my favorite snacks or send voice notes reading poetry just because he knew I liked his voice. I started trusting him. I started letting go. But the more I trusted, the more scared I became. Suddenly, I felt like my life wasn't mine anymore. I couldn't just decide to have a lazy weekend. I had to think about him. Should I invite him over? Will he be mad if I don't? Should we go on a date? Will he think I'm not interested if I don't plan anything? The pressure started building. My friends noticed. They said I was changing, quieter, more anxious, less me. But I brushed them off. I was just in love, right? No. I was drowning. Then came the first red flag, and I ignored it. It was a Saturday night. I wanted to stay home and work on my art project. Ethan called and asked to hang out. I told him I needed some space that night. He paused. Just a beat too long. Then he said, "Wow. Didn't expect you to pull away like that." Pull away? I wasn't pulling away. I just needed space. That's normal, isn't it? I apologized. Told him I was just tired. He said it was fine, but his tone changed. Colder. Less patient. From that day on, everything shifted. He started guilt-tripping me. "You're the only person I talk to, you know. I don't have anyone else. You're all I've got. Sometimes I think you don't love me like I love you. And the worst? If you leave me, I don't know what I'd do to myself." I stayed. Not because I loved him, though I did, but because I felt responsible for his emotions. My fear of relationships wasn't just about love, it was about control, pressure, losing myself. And now I was living in it. He crossed boundaries constantly. He'd check my phone when I wasn't looking. He'd comment on my outfits. Once, I laughed at a message from a male classmate, and he didn't talk to me for 3 days. Still, I stayed. Because I thought maybe this was love. Maybe love meant compromise. Maybe love was supposed to hurt a little. Until the night he showed up at my house uninvited. It was midnight. I was alone, in my pajamas, watching a movie. My phone was off, I needed peace. He called. Then again. And again. 17 missed calls. Then a knock on my door. When I opened it, he stood there, eyes wild, breathing hard. Why weren't you answering? I needed space, Ethan. Are you seeing someone else? My chest froze. I wasn't scared of love in that moment. I was scared of him. I told him to leave. He refused. He pushed past me. Walked into my apartment like he owned it. I had to scream. Cry. Threatened to call the police before he finally left. That night broke something inside me. I realized I wasn't scared of love. I was scared of what people turned love into. I was scared of being consumed, controlled, drowned in someone else's needs while mine were forgotten. I left him the next day. Blocked him. Changed my locks. Told my professors everything. I took back my life piece by piece. But the healing didn't come easy. I cried for weeks. Not because I missed him. But because I hated that I let it go that far. I hated that I didn't listen to that fear inside me, the one that was warning me all along. But now, I see it differently. That fear wasn't weakness. It was protection. It wasn't telling me to run from love. It was telling me to wait for the right kind of love. The kind that doesn't hurt. That doesn't suffocate. That doesn't make you feel smaller. Love should feel like freedom, not prison. I still get scared sometimes. I still overthink. But I no longer shame myself for that. My fear is a compass now. Voice that says, choose yourself first. A few months ago, I met someone new. His name is Daniel. And he's the first person I've ever dated who never makes me feel like I owe him my time, my body, or my peace. He asks before touching me. He listens when I talk about my fears. And when I told him I needed a week alone to reset my mind, he smiled and said, I'll be here when you're ready. No guilt. No drama. Just space. And in that space, I finally understood something. I was never broken. I was never incapable of love. I just needed love that made me feel safe enough to stop running. Now, I'm not scared anymore. Not because I'm braver. But because I've learned, the right person won't feel like a cage. They'll feel like home.